Hey everyone, it's Toby here again. So in light of my last video, I realized that give me a second. Sorry. I realized that I've been going through this without really telling you all really who I am or why I'm on YouTube. I feel like that's something not a lot of people do, and it's something I should be doing because it seems like I change reviews and things every so years. As if you watched the last video, my name's Dalton. I prefer to be called Toby, because first of all, it's my middle name, and second of all, he's my favorite character from Naruto. Anyway, so we have here. I'm going to split this video into 3 parts. We're going to go into 2 parts. The first part, which covers what these are, and a little bit of background about me, and then the second part is going to cover all those papers. So let's launch into this. So this first video is to let you guys know how and why I got into Magic, and basically what my favorite cards are and why, as well as how I got them. So we're going to start with the first card, Rakdos, Lord of Riots. So you're probably all thinking this, Rakdos isn't an especially great card. Being from Ravnica, Return to Ravnica, he's not especially strong. Well, I mean, he's a flying trample for 4 for 6/6, but it costs 2 black and 2 red, and you can't cast him unless an opponent lost life this turn, and it costs 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Now, I started playing Magic around when Avacyn came out. Avacyn Restored. I had never pulled a Mythic. I had heard about him, I had seen him, I had seen pack openings, I had seen people at my LGS open packs, but I had never pulled one myself, and so I bought a few loose packs from my LGS for Return to Ravnica when it came out, and Rakdos was my first Mythic, and was actually the card I was looking to pull. Now, Rakdos himself's not worth a lot of money. I think he's about $2 to $3, and then $7 or $8 foil. But I've kept this card with me ever since I started playing, and it just holds a little bit of sentimental value for me. We'll start with the next card, which is a foil Tybalt the Fiend-Blooded. So, same thing, Tybalt's not the greatest planeswalker. I do think he has some potential, and I do think one day I'll find a deck with him in it that he can roll with and that he can win with. So, this isn't a review video, so I won't go through his abilities. But Tybalt was the first planeswalker I ever pulled. Being foil, that made it all the more cooler, and it was also my first foil Mythic. But we'll get to that down here. So Tybalt, if you watched, I have an Avacyn box opening video. I don't know if I ever posted it. It was when I just started getting into Magic, and I had been hunting for a Tybalt, and I never got one. I did get most of the Legendary Angels though, and Tybalt. Mainly, I liked him because, first of all, it was a 2-drop for a 2, which I thought was pretty cool, and his art was just really awesome. That's pretty much the only reasons. I know that most Magic players, most competitive and pro players are going to be like, well, that's probably some of the stupidest reasons I've ever heard, but those are my reasons. And then the next card we have is Jace, Memory Adept. Now, Jace is my personal favorite planeswalker. My personal favorite card from MTG. Jace holds a little bit of value to me because when I first started playing competitive, I entered a was it Modern? I think it was Legacy, actually. Legacy, because I had a pretty good Force of Will deck. I sold that off a little bit a while ago, unfortunately, but Jace the Mind Sculptor was actually the card that wrecked me. So I was like, so this Jace character is really pretty good. So I read the lore behind him and I did a little research. It turns out Jace's lore is actually one of the coolest out of any of the other planeswalkers. It's also the most in-depth, I think, too, because he's basically the poster child of Magic. So Jace, Memory Adept was the first Jace I ever pulled, and he's been my bro ever since. So next we have a foil Temporal Mastery. So we've already covered that Tybalt was my first foil mythic, but Temporal Mastery was actually my first foil. The first foil mythic that I kept besides Tybalt. The reasoning for this was when I first opened this card about a year ago. It just looked awesome. When I opened it, it literally blinded me because I had the light right here, so it just reflected into my face, and I was like, oh, whoa, what is this? And me and my friends were sitting around the table like, dude, that's a full Temporal Mastery. Now keep in mind this is about $15 to $20, so it's pretty expensive, and it's also a foil mythic. You know, I pull a foil mythic like once every 2 years, or once every full moon, you know? Once every blue moon, actually. Anyway, so Avacyn's one of my favorite sets. It's actually the first set I started playing with, and I just kept this card because blue's my favorite color, and I love playing control. Last card we have is Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight. Now, Gisela was the last card I needed to complete my Legendary Angel collection from Avacyn. Sorry, my fingers keep getting in the way. Gisela, she holds a special place in my heart, mainly because she not only is she foil, but she has the red and white combination. Red and white was the first deck I ever played, and she was the card I was looking for to make it complete. So when Aurelia came out, I'm like, okay, that's the next best thing. So I went with Aurelia, and lo and behold, I got my Gisela a couple days ago, and she's now the commander of my EDH deck, which is pretty awesome if I say so myself. My first EDH deck, I used my favorite creature card probably ever, and she's foil, which makes it all the better. That's pretty much it for my favorite cards. My bio, I would have to say my favorite colors for playing always involve white. I hate playing white-green. I love playing white-blue, white-red, and white-black. So in the pre-release, you can imagine, for Dragon's Maze, Return to Ravnica, and Gatecrash, I first went Azorius, then Boros, then Orzhov. My god, I got wrecked going Azorius, but I did really well going Boros, and then relatively well going Orzhov. It was forced, though, because I didn't really have the cards I needed. So I had to force a black-white extort deck. But I had I think it was a Blood Scrivener, which made it pretty good. So those are my favorite colors. In the next video, we'll cover what all this is and why I have it. But thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for viewing. And I hope this was able to teach you a little bit more about me and why I play Magic, as well as what my favorite cards are. So thanks for watching.